Hello,
Okay,
ma'am. How are you tonight?
good. How are you?
Real good. Are you homeless?
Yes.
How'd you become homeless?
Originally, I became homeless when the state of Florida took custody of my son. I had been a single mom for 11 years and lost our house, and we were living at a hotel, and I couldn't pay for the hotel one night, and the hotel manager called the police, and the police interviewed me, and even though I was clean and sober, they decided to take custody of my son. Gave me a case plan to get a new place to live, new furnishings, and at that point I applied for disability.
Is this your bike?
Yep,
Your tricycle?
yep, yep.
Got a lot of stuff on there, huh?
That's everything.
Okay. Is this your
It might
dog?
be a lot, but that's everything.
Is this your dog?
That's my dog.
What's your dog's name?
Her name is Mybelle.
She's so cute. What can you tell us about your dog?
She just turned 4 years old.
Very cute
Uh,
puppy.
she's a service dog. She's registered. She is microchipped, and she is growling at your camera. You have
So
no idea what that thing is, do you?
I understand you have a kid.
I do. My first son died.
How did your son die?
He was murdered
How old?
at birth, as a baby.
Was murdered at birth?
As a baby, yeah.
How old was your son when he was murdered?
He was at birth.
Okay. Who did it?
I was the baby's father assaulted me, and the baby's skull was crushed in, and
So it was like a stillbirth because of an assault on you?
I was already in labor, and the baby was killed.
Where did this happen?
Here, I was here with the
What
baby.
was it? A hotel room, a hospital, outside?
Where was the baby killed?
Yeah. Well, where were you giving birth?
I had an apartment with the baby's dad. He was a bouncer at one of the strip clubs here. I was a dancer here, and he punched me, and the skull was crushed, and the hospital decided to make me go through labor, and after knowing there was
Okay,
no
so
heartbeat.
you were just starting to give birth. Is that what
Right,
happened?
I was in labor. I was going into labor. I wasn't in active labor. I was
Mhm.
in the preliminary stage. I was 2 weeks overdue.
Okay.
So, yeah, but that was 2 years before Bush made a felony to kill a pregnancy.
Did you were you using drugs when you were pregnant?
No,
You
neither
can.
one of my pregnancies.
Okay.
Actually, that
Was
was I I was always really good about the decisions I made as a mom.
was the father on drugs when he struck you and the baby and killed the baby?
No, I never really got involved with guys that were on drugs and alcohol. That was always my shtick.
What is the guy's name who killed your child? You can give a first name, full name, whatever you want.
We'll call him Adonis.
What strip club did he work at?
He worked at one of the clubs here on 19.
On 19
Mm-hmm.
in Clearwater?
Mm-hmm.
Does he still work there?
Nope. No.
So after this happened and your child passed away from this, did you keep hanging out with the guy?
For a little while. I guess I still wanted to hold on to the baby. I think I was baffled that he had turned into an abusive man. He had never laid a hand on me until I got pregnant with his kid. And from there it got bad. So he didn't want kids, and that was his way of handling the situation, I guess.
So he didn't want kids. When you were pregnant, was he harassing you to get an abortion or anything?
There was a lot of stuff that happened. At one point, he didn't believe the baby was his. He tried to. I got put on bed rest immediately because I'd had several miscarriages before, and they didn't know why. And so when I got put on bed rest, I lost my jobs and I lost my apartment. And even though I only had like 1 month left on my lease or something like that, it ended up going into default. I got evicted, and we had to move in together. And he didn't believe the baby was his at first. Didn't believe I was pregnant at first. Wanted me to pee on a stick for him,
Did you?
for him to buy me food.
Did
So
you?
I had to call people to sneak me groceries. It was a really hard time in my
Why
life.
would
I
people
was
have to
really
sneak you
young.
groceries? Why would people have to sneak you groceries? He didn't want you to eat?
He refused to buy me food if I didn't take a pregnancy test for him. I got diagnosed being pregnant by a doctor in the emergency room. I never even pissed on a test.
Why were you in the emergency room?
Oh goodness, I can't remember. I was 21 back then. I'm 44 now. So it was
Okay.
probably just like stomach pains or something like that. Maybe I didn't feel good, or probably something to do with the pregnancy.
Tell us about your surviving child, boy or girl.
He's a boy.
How old is he?
Just turned 18 last month in September.
What part of the world does he live in?
He's in Columbia Heights, Minnesota.
Okay. In case he, by some off chance, sees this video, this interview on YouTube, what would you like to say to your son? What's his name again? First name?
I call him Bean.
Bean? Okay. So what would you say to Bean if he sees this video? What do you want him to see? What do you want him to hear? What's the message you have for him?
It's really important you know that I've been sober, actually sober, verified sober in the methadone program for 6 years now. That everybody that you are around cannot say the same thing. And even though you have been restricted from communicating with me, you are now 18 years old. Trust what you remember, not what you're told.
So sometimes when I do these interviews, people see them and they want to help the people I interview. If you have an email address or a phone number you'd like to give in case someone wants to call you and say, hey, I saw the interview, it was really touching, or this and that. Or
Why don't you give them your number? You know where to
Well,
find me.
This is the first time I've ever seen you. I mean, it's tough to find homeless people again, but you don't have to give a phone number if you don't want to.
I'm a little awkward with giving out my contact
No,
information.
no problem. So how long were you a stripper?
20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tell us about your dog.
Mybelle is 100% deaf. She indicates seizures.
She's 100% what?
Deaf. She can't hear.
She can't hear.
No.
Poor thing. Okay, go ahead.
All of her commands are sign language. She is trained to indicate when I'm going into a seizure. She gives me up to a 5-minute warning.
Do you have epilepsy?
No, I don't have epilepsy. It's related to my PTSD.
What is it?
It's related to my PTSD. I actually started having seizures after they took my son.
Okay.
I had to go through all sorts of diagnoses. That's why my face is all messed up right now. I sleepwalk now. The psychological damage that has been caused from the removal is...
Show us where your face is messed up.
Here, I have a fractured cheekbone right now. My optical bone is fractured. My
Is that from
jawbone is
falling when you
fractured.
have a seizure or something?
I sleepwalk. And this is from me hitting the bike, actually, full force. And then last night I was sleepwalking again, and I hit the same side of the face on the concrete.
This is your bike. How long have you had this bike?
It was a gift. A friend of mine here in Pinellas County fixed it up for me and Mybelle. Usually it's not so full in the back there, and Mybelle can ride around in the basket.
We're just talking out here in the parking lot. We'll be done in a few minutes, ma'am.
Like I said, there's never very many friends.
So what would you say to someone who's about to be homeless? What do they watch out for? What do they need to do?
Here, it's illegal to panhandle. You'll go to jail for it. Here, they will put you in jail if they catch you sleeping. Here, they will Narcan you if you're sleeping and can't wake up.
They'll Narcan you.
I'm on methadone, even though I'm sober. If you, for some reason, can't wake up, or you're incapacitated for some other reason, like an injury, you'll find yourself in the ICU after being Narcan on methadone.
So tell us about the methadone thing. How long have you been on methadone?
6 years now. I'm I used to make fun of the people on the program, but I'm very proud to be on the program. It's worked beautifully for me. I've come a long way, and I got 6 years clean. I've never been able to say that about anything.
What was your drug of choice when you were on drugs?
I wanted to be pain free and take a nap, so it was opiates and
It was
benzos.
downers, huh?
Yep. I drank a lot, but I think that was more the exposure to the clubs. I don't think I ever really liked alcohol. I always threw up a lot with alcohol. That's why I don't have my teeth. Had nothing to do with crack or meth.
Okay. So you fell down drinking, and that's how you knocked your teeth out?
No, I threw up a lot.
Oh.
Yeah. My stomach's really bad. I have Crohn's disease. So my stomach did not handle it very well. I didn't find out I had Crohn's till I was in my 30s, and I'd already been a dancer for like 12 years at that point.
Do you have a boyfriend now?
No. Oh, God.
When's the last time you had an inside place to sleep?
Over a year ago.
When's the last time you slept in a shelter, a homeless shelter?
I tried almost a year ago, and one of the guards at the shelter touched me when I was sleeping, and my bell did her job and bit the guard, and I got woke up being told I was being kicked out. So
Do you think someone was trying to molest you, sexually
oh
gratifying?
no, he actually touched me.
Where?
Physically touched me.
Where on your body?
I was sleeping in the shelter. I don't know where he touched me.
You didn't feel it. The dogs. How do you
The
know?
dog saw him
How do you know
do
he
it,
touched you?
and she attacked him.
How do you know the guy touched you?
Because everybody around me told me.
Okay. Did you report that to anyone?
I got woke up being told I had an aggressive dog and I needed to leave the shelter. Even though my dog was not the one that was aggressive and she was doing her job.
Well, the dog hasn't been aggressive towards me since I've been here. I think she growled at my camera momentarily,
Which is
right?
kind of funny. I think it's just because she never seen a tripod before. I think she's a little weirded out by it. Probably looks like a War of the Worlds type thing to her.
Well, she's very beautiful. That's a very beautiful dog. What else can you tell us about your dog?
She is an albino Australian Shepherd.
And she's deaf, you said.
She's deaf. She saved my life.
Where'd you get her?
She was dropped in my lap, literally.
By who?
I saw her. This lady was walking with a stroller, and a little doggy stroller, you know, which she was obviously already outgrowing. She was like 9 weeks old, and this stroller was already like, it was meant for like a chihuahua or something, I think. And she just was so cute and had these big blue eyes. And I saw her, and it was November in St. Paul before I actually got my studio apartment up there. And I was cold, and I was freezing. I was sitting on the sidewalk waiting for the cafeteria to open so I could get some coffee and oatmeal. And this lady just walks past me with this dog, and I was just like, "Oh, puppy!" And she was like, "Oh, human!" And she's like, "You want the dog?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" That's how I got her. It wasn't really a planned thing. I did previously have a service dog, and I went through all the training with her. And like I said, she's got all the little certifications. She's got microchips now. She's, you know, been along for the ride. Man, I'll tell you what, though, she is so loyal and so protective. Absolutely. There is absolutely no reason for me to go into a shelter when I'm putting her in danger.
Do you see any path at all for you to be what people call a normal, productive, housed member of society with maybe some kind of job or source of income, a place to live, you know, for you and Maribel to live? Or do you just...
My bell.
Do you see yourself being homeless until you die, or do you think you'll have a place to live one day?
Right now, my bell is my anti-suicide plan.
You think you would be suicidal without Maribel?
Oh no, I am suicidal with my bell. Okay, she's my anti-suicide.
How many times have you attempted suicide?
I attempted one time that put me into a coma for 2 weeks. And it doesn't matter how many times I attempted before that. There's never been an attempt after that. And it's been
okay, so you
6
have
years
one
since I got
suicide
sober.
attempt. Okay. Do you feel like you would want to do that again?
Like I said, it's been 6 years since I got sober, and my bell is my anti-suicide plan for the moment.
So for now, you don't want to do that, and you feel like my bell is a a reason you don't want to commit suicide. Is that correct?
For me, she worked in sobriety. For me, she helped with the seizures. For me, she helps with the sleepwalking. For me, she's the only one that gives a fuck about me out here. You know, I got the cops laughing at me. Here, it's a fucking joke to them. They put us in jail here just for being homeless. Literally, they passed a law on October 2nd. It's literally legal. If I get caught with a blanket or a pillow, I can go to jail. I've already been to jail once for it. She had to go to the animal control. Like, we've already dealt with it.
Did you have to pay to get her out of animal control?
She is a service dog. It's illegal to be
So you just go
charged.
get her.
Yeah, but there's been several situations that have been a result of the whole original circumstance that, you know, including my injury and being back in the hospital. So it's been a tough few weeks. And then the hurricane, that was quite an adventure too.
So tell us more about the guy that hit you, that killed your baby. How old is he? Older than you? Younger than you?
He's a few years older than I am.
White, black?
He's black.
Black guy. Okay. And you met him did you meet him at the club where you were stripping?
I had met him in passing at a mall much earlier than that.
Okay.
But yeah, when I originally started knowing him.
When you were strip dancing, did you sometimes also turn tricks with the guys that would tip you right?
Not till later in my career.
Now, how did that go down?
Like, what do you mean, how did it go down?
You know what? We're going to stop the interview and restart, and we're going to go into that. So stay tuned.
How about we not?
Stay tuned, folks. If I can get her to talk about it, we'll do another interview. If not, thanks for watching.